Alright, this will be the demonstration for the Gamo PT-80 Tactical. I actually got that light bulb fixed I didn't show in the other video. It is a 35 lumen xenon bulb. As you can see, it's actually quite bright, just for being a little tiny little flashlight. Really not much use unless you're using this at night, which I'm not sure why you'd be using this at night, but hey, if you got a flashlight, it's good for something, I guess. So anyways, let's get right into this then. First of all, make sure your gun's on safety. Mine already is. Probably, if you want to make sure that there's no clip in there, just in case. Mine doesn't have a clip right now. Like every other air gun, you just take it off really easy. As you can see, totally exposed. CO2 tank right on the bottom here. You have to start unscrewing it. And you can unscrew it until you until it fits. Once you have the CO2 in there, you just start screwing it up. The thing I don't really like about this is the feeling of it. It just kind of, I just don't really like how it feels when you start screwing the CO2 in. There we go. Feels a little cheap when you screw it in. I don't know why. It's just a personal thing, really. Once you have that in, you got your guns all set. Might want to double check in case if you hear any hissing. CO2 is a little loose. Tighten that up. And then yeah, I'm gonna take this part off for the shooting because I won't be able to see the sights through it. I won't be using a red dot because I actually ran out of battery. When you're using that red dot sight that comes with it, make sure it's off. I've already lost 2 batteries because it's not fully off. You gotta really make sure it's off before you cover it up with the lens caps and all that. This takes is flat. It goes on one of these rotary shots or whatever you call them. It takes flat heads, like I normally say in most of my videos. I have no idea if it makes a difference if you use different ones, but I guess recommended it's flat heads. So I'm just gonna use flat heads. And easily enough, you just push the lever right there, pops out, you put it in, and then you're ready to shoot. Okay, it's a bright sunny day. As you can see, our flashlight is pretty much rendered useless. We have all of our reactive targets set up over there. Alright, one thing I'm going to show you before we start. Gun is a double action. You can either pull this back, you watch the trigger, pull the trigger back. That doesn't do much except for pull the trigger back a bit more. It's not going to make it that much more easier. It's just going to make the trigger pull distance a little shorter. And that's about it. I guess we'll just start shooting at the targets. One thing that I would actually advise is to take off the silencer because it's actually getting in my view quite a lot. The silencer is actually pretty thick and kind of gets defeats the whole purpose of the iron sights. And since I can't use my red dot, I'm just going to take it right off. Short of bullets, you just switch the magazine. Alright, we'll get some nice close-up shots of what's going on. Another 8 shots. If you can see, I'm not sure if you can see that well, but the pellets are actually going a lot slower. Alright, the final 8 shots, and we'll see how this goes. Wow, 8 shots. Okay, as you can see, we pretty much actually annihilated that box. Lots of holes in there now. It seems like the flat noses are pretty brutal with leaving their markings versus the BBs, which generally go right through, but you don't see much damage. And other pellets that I've used that pretty much generally just pierce right through and just kind of deflect on off. That said, I'm definitely actually packs a pretty good punch. Generally it got a little slower actually near the last 2 or 3 clips. So it packs a lot of power, but it loses it very quickly. Alright, so basically what I got out of that gun was that the first few shots were actually quite powerful. They're actually a lot louder than I expected them to be. Definitely the velocity is quite high. If you look at that box, you definitely see all the piercings I did. I'll actually show you that in just a bit. And yeah, so pretty much this gun's actually quite powerful. Flat nose pellets are they seem very penetrable, or they just leave a high penetrating mark because BBs kind of just go through. You can't really tell until you look close up. Also, pointed noses, sometimes you can see, sometimes you can't. Pretty much, that silencer is actually very annoying if you don't have red dot sight on. You can't use the iron sights if you have the silencer on, which is sort of strange. But so I had to take mine off. Definitely helped me see a lot better because you can't really see over the silencer. And if you have the red dot sighting, you can just keep the silencer on. Yeah. Near the last 3 magazines, you could definitely tell that the power's going down a lot more. You could probably see the shots, and wasn't that it's going down quite quickly. But then again, I guess, like I normally say in other videos, the faster the rate you shoot, the more the CO2 velocity will go down. And if you shoot a lot slower, you're going to get a lot more bang for your buck when it comes to CO2. But versus if you're just shooting like Rambo on a rampage, you're definitely not going to get that much of your CO2, but you will definitely get your shots off. So if CO2 is a big concern, shoot slow. CO2 is not a big concern, and you can afford it. Hell, just go shoot fast if you really want to. Eventually I'll probably get around to showing you the red dot sight on a gun, see how accurate that is, that comes with it. Pretty much that's about it. The gun itself is actually very good. The gun itself is, I think it's made out of, I think this could be metal, I'm not exactly sure. I think it's just plastic with metal inside of it. I mean, the interior is metal, like most guns. Outside it's plastic. This is metal, I believe. Trigger's metal. Safety's metal. Barrel, definitely clearly metal. And yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much about it that I can really say about it. I like this little feature right there where you can pull it back and then shoot it. That's kind of nice. I mean, if you really don't like pulling it all the way, maybe if you're a slow shooter, I should put it. If you're a slow shooter, you definitely want to pull that back because it definitely gives you a lot less to pull on. It'll probably increase your accuracy quite a bit. But if you're just shooting like I was, I sometimes pulled it back and shot. Sometimes I just shot. It's really not that big of a problem for me. Magazines ran out a bit quickly, but hey, they're 8 shots, and that's how the gun was made. Can't complain about that, really. And yeah, pretty much other than that, it's a very good gun. I'd actually recommend it if you want a nice high-powered gun. It's a little costly, but comes with all these different accessories. Flashlight, like I said before, not exactly the most utilized thing they'd probably ever use on the gun. Silencer, or compensator as they call it sometimes, doesn't do anything other than block your view really. The red dot sight, I actually like it a lot. Make sure that that's off, because if it's not off exactly, it runs batteries and it dies, and then you end up like me, not being able to use it. So yeah, that's about it. Have the next gun review a lot quicker than the ones I've been doing lately. And yeah, subscribe for updates.